All right, guys, we're back. So, um, I actually stopped the recording because I turned the camera to see like what I look like. Oh my gosh, I'm bad boys and one wife that watches my channel. I am very hairy and unkempt currently. So I do apologize. Here in a few weeks I will be much more beautiful for you. But as a fun aside, so let's talk about the hunted here. So I went into the hunted expecting I had about 50 to 60 pre-sold cases from Rosetta. So I usually maintain about like the same ratio, right? Like if someone orders like 20 cases before, they usually order like 18 or 20, or they'll go up. Vice versa, one person goes down 10, another person goes up 10. Like it usually like kind of like averages out a little bit, right? So rolling into the hunted, I had about 40 cases of the 50, I believe, all back out or cancel. Of those 40, all of them were like, yeah, I probably should have got some. This is a valuable lesson. If you are in this business, be consistent. It doesn't matter if you think the set is good or not. What matters is what the market thinks. And the market will always prove you wrong. Every bloody time. So, be consistent. If you're gonna buy Pokemon, buy Pokemon. If you're gonna buy Flesh and Blood, always buy Flesh and Blood. And I even had people reaching out for the hunted that I haven't had orders from several sets. And some of these people had very good reasons to not order, life things were going on, whatever. But they all came back out for this set. Consequently, I had the highest pre-orders for this case ever. I did cheaper orders initially. I raised those to $300 a case. And I raised that to $350 a case. And I'm still selling them. I do not know if I will be opening a whole lot of this set. We'll see what I do. I may honestly just be keeping it sealed. There is going to be about 100 and... or no, not even 100. There's going to be about like 50 something cases left over, I think, once it's all said and done. And those 50 cases, I'm looking at $400 a pop, probably moving them off at market prices. And I'm not really going to do a whole lot with them. I might crack 10 or 20 cases just so I can have some fun with it, make my set, do the normal things that I do. But I was hoping to have around 1,500-1,600 boxes. I'm going to look at the singles prices when everything drops. I may end up opening a lot of it. I may not. And I may just keep selling through on pre-orders because, honestly, I have never had so many pre-orders in this set. I blew past 50 overnight. When that CNC reprint finally hit the news and everyone was like, oh my God! I had some orders. Like, holy crap. Like, that was a very, keen moment for me. And I'm like, man, I told people they're going to want this set. But, LSS has done away with the auxiliary set style. So they're not doing this once a year, small set like Crew or Dynasty or Everfest anymore. That's done. They're doing only full releases now. And they're doing a release every 4 months, I believe. I think it's every 4 months. Which means this is a full release. They're going to find a way to make you love this set and have value in it. And just like Pokemon Company is going to print things that make you want to open it and feel good about opening it, they're going to find ways to give you value if you stick around. And this is a very valuable lesson here. If you stick around, you will never regret it in the long run, right? If you're very short-term about things, you will always get burned. 100% of the time, without fail, you will get burned. The burn index from short-term people is all the way up. You can't even see it on the screen. The not burn index on people that continue to just churn away, their burn index goes doop, 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 doop. It's pretty much flat. They just get a little toasty once in a while, but nothing super crazy. And this is another valuable lesson because we saw this when the Pokemon market took off, right? It went from Pokemon sucks, Scarlet Violet's terrible, I can order whatever the hell I want. There's no limits to, I don't know if I'm even getting a box. I ended up getting 5 prismatic ETBs. I had a goal of 20 cases to get. I got 5 boxes. Well, I take that back. I got 8 case. I split it with my partner. He got 5 boxes. I got 5. There is a world where this market doesn't stop being like this for quite a while. And when one of the major players, Yu-Gi-Oh, not Flesh and Blood, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, or Magic, right? Those are like the big 3. Like, undeniably, no one will argue if you say those are the biggest 3 TCGs. They will agree with you. Sports cards, its own animal. We don't talk about sports. It's for sweaty people that play with balls. So we inevitably, whenever one of those big 3 just rips, like that bull run starts, like everyone's like, oh, like, and they just can't stop feasting. Eventually, the good deals go away very quickly, and it just turns into your standard 10-20% margin. You're buying a collection when it comes up, but realistically, there's like 30 people that are trying to buy that collection every time, so it's like a crapshoot on what you do or don't get. What inevitably happens is people take all of that energy and gusto, and they put it into the other games. So now Magic is seeing boxes going up and up and up. Yu-Gi-Oh is probably, I haven't looked at the market because I don't follow, but Yu-Gi-Oh is also probably seeing boxes go right on up to the little places. And I'm sure there's some special singles and stuff that are also starting to inch up and see interesting, peculiar buyouts. I've noticed this in Flesh and Blood that has even happened. So now we have this pyramid. It's like washing down. It was inevitable. This bull run on Pokemon started November, I think, when Starting Sparks released. November, October, I think, something like that. And it was inevitable. And I saw the writing on the wall. That's why I tried to increase my orders on everything. I got noped on Prismatic. I have 30 cases I'm going to try and get for Journey Together. We'll see what I get. I don't know. I tried to order 1,600 boxes of the Flesh and Blood set. That didn't happen. I got cut by 70%. The market is reacting. Everyone is saying, oh crap, there are deals to be had, there's money to be made, and the ferocity is there. The difference is that unlike in 2021 when this hit, when I was just starting this and I was attempting to like grab and do anything that I could scrambling, because again, I started at one of these peak moments of this thing. Like, I think I started buying and selling cards again in, oh God, I bought Kaldheim in like 2020. I started looking into it and I was like, oh yeah, this is fun. I'm enjoying this. I got back into Magic. I was looking at stuff. Christmas time rolls around. I'm like looking at Flesh and Blood and I'm like, oh yeah, I have some time to get this. This is a new game. No, didn't have time. And the same thing happened. And then everything just went whoosh, just rocketed. And it was an absolute crapshoot. I overspent on a bunch of stuff. I couldn't sell stuff fast enough. I couldn't buy stuff fast enough. I never had enough money for anything. And it was a really hard time to enter the market. And this is another valuable lesson. This is not the time to enter the market. This is the moment where you're like, okay, maybe I get a good Pokemon box sealed deal and I just throw it in the closet for now and I just forget about this. Maybe you just pre-order some Yu-Gi-Oh boxes or some Flesh and Blood or whatever you want to play and you just enjoy. This is a moment where you watch the show if you're not positioned to take advantage of the show. I now have had 3 years of post MTG 30, post Bull Run COVID. You know, this last like spike has ended and gone down. We've been on this like the gag out time. We're going back up into this peak. This is the worst time to buy in, and this is the worst possible time to buy in. And I don't know where this turns into this and does this. We want to avoid. See, you want to buy in, right? You want to buy in these windows here, right? You don't want to buy in here because this is how you get wrecked. You also don't want to buy in here because it's where you get wrecked. You also don't want to buy in here or here because it's also where you get wrecked, just like progressively less wrecked. You also don't want to buy in here, here, or here, or really anywhere in here. right? You need to avoid these aggressive bull markets. This is the time where you're like, you know what? Enjoy the show. I missed this run. Keep an eye out for a great deal. If there's someone selling something at like 40% for some reason, sure, why not? Grab it and buy it. But this is not the moment where you deploy this much capital. You should be deploying this much capital, like over here, like this, not like when it's flat. You want the flat bar. You know, you don't want the giant sledgehammer, right? Either, like, you don't do that right now. So we've entered this like rocket ship mode, right? Don't buy in. If you are not ready, don't do it. Just wait your turn. It will come. I promise you, this market will calm down at some point. And when it's done calming down, everyone will be like, oh my God, this is the worst of whatever they're going to say the worst is. I'm just throwing a wild guess out here, but I'm going to guess that the bull run is probably going to continue on through the rest of the Scarlet and Violet era, at least until the second to last, if not the last set. And then right before they announce the new base set for that block, everyone is going to go, it's terrible. And then the market's going to calm down. And that is where you can re-enter now. Enjoy this beautiful flat period you've gone into where everyone is like, oh God, it all sucks. I'm not buying anything. Wah, it's terrible. Wah. That's your time to buy in. That is when you can get the deals plentiful. That is when you can get your good sealed positions in place. That is when you make your moves. Don't make them right now. That's how you get wrecked. This is wreck zone. This is your wreck zone. Like this. That's all wrecked. Just pure wreckage. Don't go there. It's a valuable, valuable lesson. The hunted being a perfect example of these markets going... The hunted being a perfect example of these markets going, shoo, and then everyone else going like, oh, I'm strapped, and then they're gone. So they're all strapped together. You just don't know when the rope is going to catch up to the rest of the guys and then tug them along with it. So it's a valuable, valuable lesson to learn. And I'm sorry about the pause earlier. I got a spam call, and of course I don't put my phone in airplane mode and someone calls me and interrupts the video. Whatever. Cursed spam callers. May you all die a death of 1,000 deaths. I can't stand spammers. Oh my God. They're the worst. So, be careful out there. There's lots of deals that are always floating around. There are ways to go make money. Go to shows, find some cheap deals, wheel and deal, have some fun, watch the markets, do your thing, enjoy yourself, have fun with it. Just don't ape in unless the deal is insane. Like if the deal is for 10 grand or $1,000 or $100, and you know you can take 50% of that and recoup 80 to 90% of your cost immediately, like that dude hands you said goods worth $100,000 or $10,000, and you're like, man, I can sell 2 things in there and cover 90% of that, and I can just go sell to the vendor right over there that's 40 feet away, or to my local LGS that's a half a mile away. Those deals you take. It doesn't matter what time of day. You just take those deals, because at the end of the day, like even if it drops 50%, you still have like a net of like 40% on the deal, because like you paid for 100%, you sold like 10% to pay for 90%, so you have 90% of the crap left over. So even if it dumps by like 50%, you still are making like 30-35%, and you can just kind of enjoy trickling the rest out as you need. But those kind of deals you never say no to, but they're also very rare because they're very situational and they're very time dependent. They're both buyer and seller dependent. The best one that I had, hands down, it was in one of these points. It was terrible market times. No one wanted anything. No one was buying anything. I had a guy, the heck was it? I think it was 392 sets of Magic, something like that. I honest to God, I was like, I don't want this. This is so much work. I have a release coming up in like a month and a half. I don't want this mess. But I was like, you know what? I know, again, at 50 cents on the dollar, I can make money. So I literally offered 50 cents on the dollar. Like I was like, there is no way that this deal gets accepted. Like, there is zero chance. Like, that was the offer that I sent. Like, this is such a bad offer. There's no way they take this. They took it. I was like, oh, okay. Well, guess I'm working a lot. So I spent the next 2 weeks. I ground down a whole bunch of crap. I recouped. It was like, I think it was like all in, it was like 17 grand. I did a massive buy list to Card Kingdom, and I sold back like, this is my net, right? I sold to Card Kingdom direct, like 9 grand in, like 9.5 grand in cash is what I got back. And then I sold another 3 or 4 grand for credit. So again, this is all credit stuff. So like, we'll say like 70 cents on the dollar. So now I'm up to like 12 grand plus, right? I then took a ton of the binders with one of my partners, and I had them move a ton of that stuff. I got another 8 or 9 grand out of it. When that was all said and done, I had about 130 sets of product left over, and I had already cleaned out and made all of my money back, made a few grand back, and I was content sitting on the rest of it. I sat on that stuff for literally years, it has been now, and I have started selling off those extra Magic Online sets. You might have seen me on Facebook. I sold probably $3,000 or $4,000 worth of those. So again, and I still have 85 or 90 of those left. Again, this is those moments where if you see those deals, you just take them. You're like, oh God, this sucks. But when that happens, you just have to figure out a way to make it work. Like, I rearranged some things, had another deal that I had to delay, because like it was just such a mess. But we made it happen, and that's what's important. And it's a valuable lesson that these periods are where you make the most money, because this is when there is the most sellers with the fewest number of buyers. At this point, it doesn't matter how many sellers there are. There is an infinitely larger number of buyers. You can be listing stuff like, let's say like a Pokemon box is $250. You can list it for $247, and you'll probably have 10 people message you about it. Just because they know the market is so insane right now, and they're saving $3 plus the 3.5% on their sales tax. Like, they're happy saving $12. They're been gone. Like, that's how insane this market gets. Stuff even starts selling for at market prices on the secondary, which is the really bananas part. Like, normally you have to go to conventions to kind of get those prices as a vendor. So when you start seeing this on the secondary market, that is a huge, huge red flag. This is the moments where you're like, maybe I just do the right thing and just kind of chill. But yeah, Hunted is going to do amazing, guys. I can't wait for this set. I'm definitely opening a few cases no matter what. I don't know if I'm going to open 20 or 10 or 4, but I'm definitely opening a few cases. We'll have some videos on the channel and stuff in here. And yeah, just stay safe out there, guys. My bacon is doing wonderfully well. Bye.